Oh, by the way, I should have asked you. Do you want me to say bean on the stream? It's completely up to you. I just never asked you before, and I'm like trying to think of it now. I was like, oh wait, like is it bean?
Yeah, I mean that's probably the best way to go with it. Or
Well, I'm not calling you on the podcast. I can't do
I would
that.
have to do that.
You're now listening to the CybrCast.
Yeah, welcome. It is CyberFox here, or Brad. Brad is fine.
Brad.
Brad, but not
Hey, what do you want
Mr.
me to call you? Do you want me to call you Brad?
Brad. Brad's fine.
Okay, all right.
Brad's fine. I think now it wouldn't be kind of weird, like if you start the whole podcast thing or whatever, and it's like you have your username. It doesn't.
Doesn't flow quite as good. I mean, it's one thing if you're like playing in a video game and you have to like call out your gamer tag or something like that.
Yeah, but to use it, yeah, I don't think. No, Brad's fine.
Well, Brad's good. Okay.
Brad's good. And this is Bean, everybody. This is Bean on the other line.
I mean, if I misbehave, you can call me Livingston if you want.
Let's not get to that point. No, we're not going to get to that point.
Okay, all right.
So we're here. We're starting what we think could be a podcast of interest to other people besides just entertaining ourselves. But we have had many nights where we're playing games and we're doing something online on stream, and we just find ourselves like talking about these random things, whether it's like, you know, what's going on in the gaming world now, or, you know, the auto industry, tech, all that kind of stuff. Bean and I are really into like cameras and taking. He's professionally. He's a professional. I can say that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Did a maternity photo shoot today, so that went pretty well. But yeah, no, I mean a lot of tech stuff. I mean, got a lot of common interests, and I mean, I feel like I spend half of my day and night just reading about new tech and what's going on. Like you said, auto industries and whatnot. Just makes it it's cool things to read about.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, it's and so that's why we kind of thought, like, let's try this out and see where this goes. If you're curious why you cannot see Bean right now, he's getting his side of the studio set up. And if we progress with this, who knows? We could have like this awesome setup. I have no idea, but let's just
really cool.
Let's just take it piece by piece. We're just starting the first one here, so
yeah, first ever.
But I guess what to expect. I don't know. Tech, auto, gaming, just kind of whatever we find interesting and like that we can have a discussion about, I think, right?
For sure. Yeah. Like I said, we playing Call of Duty and just playing video games in general, where we're sitting there. I mean, I feel like that's like half of the playing Call of Duty and stuff like that is like the social aspect of like, hey, did you see this in the news? And then talk about it. And then it got to a point where it's like, well, it's kind of hard to always concentrate and play in a game and then talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And our other teammates would get mad at us too, because we're deep in conversation and a new round was starting and it's like, guys, shut up. I can't hear what the hell's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
So this was
like our own channel just to do that. And I was like, hey, why don't we do a podcast, not bug everybody else?
So I gotta get to this because this is something that came up last week. It was making a lot of news. If I can transition, by the way, I'm transitioning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is what they call a transition in the biz. Not that I'm in the biz, but through the grapevine, I've heard it's a transition. Anyways, it made a lot of news last week. I think BMW announced that they were going to have a subscription-based service for heated seats in their cars, and I guess this was 3 days ago. On BMW blog, it says BMW releases a statement about functions on-demand option for. Let me start that one over. BMW releases a statement about functions on-demand option subscriptions. So BMW.
I haven't read anything about this yet. I only knew about like that they were trying to charge people to use a subscription for their heated seats and heated steering wheel stuff. So that's where I last knew. And that was like you said, a week and a half ago. So I didn't know they actually put out a release about it.
I didn't know either. I actually saw the article today. I didn't read all the way through it. I'm just kind of amazed that
how they justify this.
Right. Yeah. It says BMW caught the entirety of the internet's flack with a recent announcement about its functions on-demand system in which customers can choose to pay monthly subscriptions for certain options. The initial story that started the global pylon by enthusiasts was of BMW's heated seat subscription in Korea, which I also didn't know because I thought it was about being in the U.S.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't know. Maybe this is only a Korea option thing. I have no idea.
They're probably just testing it like in Korea. Like I'm sure that's like kind of a thing where you don't want to do a global test where they're like, all right, well, these people over in Korea, they're paying for a lot of stuff they probably don't need. Let's see if we can do that.
Yeah,
They probably have some sort of data that's backing this up while they're doing it in Korea.
Well, and I think you're right, because it says naturally that led fans, customers, and enthusiasts to question whether such a program would come to America, and more importantly, whether it should. However, a BMW USA spokesperson released a statement today following up on the recent news. As cynical as it may seem to offer subscription services for parts already in a car, BMW argues that the service offers more flexibility for customers. Certain features such as a remote engine start and the drive recorder are features customers may want to test drive for a month before buying in full. Plus, BMW will always offer the ability to buy options in permanently like normal.
So what do they try? Okay, I get it. Okay, I can understand if there's like a subscription service where like, okay, you want to use your drive recorder. Okay, you got to pay monthly if you want to use their servers and you want to use their Wi-Fi and you got to do that stuff. If I got heated seats and something physical that I'm not going to just go, what do you mean try it out? I bought it. No one has heated seats. Like if I don't want to use it, I'm not going to click the dang button.
Well, I also think that the best argument against this that I've seen so far is that they already build into the price of the vehicle the fact that those options are in the car. True. So you're buying a vehicle with the option premium, already. Yeah, you're paying. Yeah, and especially BMW, you're paying a premium for heated seats in this situation that's already installed in the car, and then you're going to give them the customer the option to either use them or just basically leave it unusable, which makes no sense at all.
I literally don't understand. Like I said, if they have like I get the drive recorder thing where like if you need like I think like one of my friends has a newer like Equinox, a lot of new Chevys or whatever, but a lot of new cars in general have like 4G or 5G in them. You have to pay for that service. Sure, that makes sense. That's something that you're using. It's like a different service. But this car, like underneath me in my seats, where my butt sits right now, is the heated little coils, and there should usually just be a button right there that I click and I can choose if I want it or not. There's no way that should be a subscription. That doesn't make any. Or your remote start. It's like if you don't want to use it, just don't push the button. Like, what do you mean they won't try it out for a month? Like that doesn't make that is like the worst justification I've ever heard in my life.
Well, like, and then this says, and I'm trying to figure out if this is actually, this is the actual statement from BMW. America says options like heated seats are ordered on over 90% of BMWs sold in the USA. BMW of North America does not expect factory option purchase levels to change significantly going forward. So then therein lies, why would you charge that if they're already ordered?
Yeah, it's probably. I wonder how much the option is to put heated seats on your BMW. I'm guessing it's a minimum $1,500 option. So you're already paying more than that.
No, I've looked into it. So, and if we can find it, I think what I saw was it's $128 for a year. It's $205 for 2 years, so you save a couple bucks. Or you can buy it permanently. From what I saw, the number they threw around was like $406 permanently.
No. What I'm saying though is like, how much is that actual option? So like, I'm going to buy a BMW, and the base price is $29,500. And how much is it for me to get the heated seats into my car? I'm thinking it's got to be like I said, $1,500. Like I don't know what like if you're building a BMW online, I would guess $1,500 for a heated seat option. So that's
it's got to be
either. Okay, so if that happens. Okay, I could almost see this. Like now I'm almost seeing the justification. I could see there being justification. If then don't have the premium of it. But that's not what they're going to do, I would doubt. I would doubt that's what they're going to do. So say I got the heated seats and it's a $1,500 option, then on top of it I have to pay for to use it. That is too much.
Correct.
But say like, okay, we'll take off that $1,500, but then you have to pay $18 a month to use it. I almost can see that. That almost makes sense to me. That like,
but that's the question, right? Are they going to take the premium?
There's no way. This is all just a money grab. They're all just trying to get as much money out of it. It's like everything where it's like a nickel and dime thing where, I mean, why wouldn't they? Like the one article I read was saying that the company On Demand, I think it's called On Demand, is like the function or service. They're expected to make like billions of dollars in their first several years. I mean, so I mean, jeez, they're making their money doing that, but it just doesn't seem right. Like, where does it stop?
Radio services make sense. You know,
I
XM,
get that.
Sirius,
Yeah.
that gets it. I'm reading
Yeah.
here like features like BMW Drive Recorder. That makes sense, probably. BMW remote engine start function, right? You got to go through some kind of server. Again, I get all that. But like you said, to have something physical in the car that goes to your seats.
Premium for, yeah.
Right. And we joked about this when we heard about this last week of where does it stop, right? So like, are the M cars going to have the sports mode, right? Are you going to have to
like, okay, so you got like a DLC pack for your exhaust notes where it's going to be an extra $35 if you want to have the higher pitch, better sounding, whatever noise you want to hear. We're like, yeah, where does it stop?
It's just funny that you said it was a DLC pack because that's it's like this is Forza real life now, basically.
Yeah, seriously. And Forza is like the worst game ever when it comes to DLCs and money grabbing and stuff like that.
It's very strange, and the subscription thing I think is here to stay because I think a lot of companies, not only streaming services, are like all in on the subscription stuff. And if I could make another point here, Porsche, I never knew this existed until today. Porsche has a subscription service called Porsche Drive.
Yeah.
And it's a monthly fee that you pay Porsche. You don't own any of the vehicles. But I think for the lower tiers, so like let's say their small SUV is the Macan. So I think it was like $1,800 a month. You are basically you have that monthly subscription. You can hop in and out of any Macan that you want as many times as you want. And as long as you're paying the subscription, you could keep it for, you hop in one that you like and it's got the color and the features and all that kind of stuff. You can hold on to it as long as you want. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then they have other,
like a big city where you can just grab the scooter and pick it up and just take it for as long as you'd really want.
Yeah, basically. But I'm saying with these, it's a vehicle, right? You can take this home.
Yeah.
Right? You're not just leaving it on the street when you're done with it. So it's a subscription base. And then obviously they have different tiers. So like if you wanted to start having, driving around a 911, you're going to pay, I think the number was like $2,800 a month. It was some outrageous number, but you have access to any 911 that they might have at the dealership where you walk in. That's part of the program. You just pick it up and you swap it, right?
I mean, where's the cutoffs? I mean, there's no way if I had $1,800 in my pocket, I just go to a Porsche place and be like, give me it for a month, buddy. Like, there's got to be some sort of like a minimum. Like, they got to have something like that, right? Or do you just, that's strange.
From what I saw on it today, and again, I didn't deep dive on it, but from what I saw today, they were saying that some of their customers don't even want to commit to even a year-long lease. So if the part of the program is there, so I agree with you, there's got to be some minimum, right? So I can't go in, spend $1,800, but maybe you can. I mean, or maybe it's got to be at least 2 months or 3 months worth, but it's got to be,
so weird.
It's got to be less than a year though. I mean, if that's why they started the program to begin with.
I mean, that was like a big used car thing, whereas like I have my used car dealer's license, and it was like you can buy used Mercedes, used Jaguars, use all that kind of stuff, whatever, super cheap. Because the people that buy those cars want the next new best thing right immediately. They want it right away, and they don't want like a 5-year-old, 8-year-old BMW, and then they're getting ready for more maintenance and stuff like that. But it's like that brings that to a new level where like you can, so like in one summer you can have like 4 different Porsches, and like it's so strange. Like there's got to be so many weird little rules and like mileage included.
Here it is right here. Here's it. Subscription memberships. Okay. So single vehicle subscription commitment 1 or 3 months.
Wow.
Multi-vehicle subscription selection, access to the fleet of Porsche vehicles pending availability, commitment monthly.
There's got to be something, because I have like, if I get a Porsche for a month, could you imagine the fake it till you make it people, like Ferris Bueller kind of thing, where it's like, you took the Porsche to like, you want to go impress somebody and you got your Porsche for a month and it's like, damn, now I'm really broke, where I probably should have done that. But hey, I got the raise that I needed, where everyone thought I was really cool with my Porsche.
Well, let's think about this for a second. Like there's apps out there like Turo, right? Which is like the Airbnb for cars. I could put my car on there tomorrow. And some people have Porsches, Teslas, Lamborghinis. You can rent it for a day, a week, a month, however. But this is basically them taking advantage of that. And here's the other thing that I saw here that I actually had the question about earlier is all memberships include insurance coverage, which makes total sense because how am I supposed to go to like Allstate or, Progressive and say, by the way, this is the vehicle.
My McCann.
Right. And they're like, okay, can you give me then that stuff? Well, why am I going to bother giving that to you? You'd be on the phone daily. Let's say that you wanted to have one of these cars and every other week, right? I mean, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
It would be crazy. And here, this breaks down the cost here. So single vehicle subscription plans, mileage included. So for 1 month, 1,500 miles a month, you got a one-time basically $600 activation fee.
Something doesn't add up though, because that only ends up being the $1,700 is like $60 a day. So you're telling me it's cheaper to have a Porsche for a month than it is to like go rent one? Like that, there's got to be something else to this that we're not seeing or something like that. Because like for $56 a day to have an awesome brand new Porsche, that seems like an absolute steal.
I got to be honest with you. I think they're onto something there. I really do. If that's what the price is, if you actually broke down how much it would cost you in like this first one here, the Macan, if you broke down how much it would cost you to buy a brand new Macan and then to put insurance on it,
yeah,
I got to think that $1,700 a month is probably pretty close to know that. Let's say that, times are not great right now. People are still having issues. And if we have a recession coming on, all this kind of stuff, that you lose your job. You don't own that vehicle. You're done. You commit for a month and then you're done. I mean, that's kind of nice.
What do they do when somebody doesn't pay or if they're a couple days over?
That's a good question.
Take that thing to Mexico.
That's a good question. It says vehicle maintenance is included too, which I'm curious. It can't be, they can't cover wear and tear items. It's got to be, I got to think services.
Like, do I really want to get would I want to buy a Porsche knowing that people are just going to beat the living crap out of it for a month and then get a new one? Like, it seems like starting when this program started, like Porsche to me has gone down in a significant value because if I know I'm going to get a new Porsche in 2 weeks, I'm just going to beat the crap out of it and then get another one.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so.
It's kind of like the responsibility of like owning a car. Is like you don't want to beat it to death all the time because you want it to last and stuff like that. But it's like, man, I'm only gonna have this 911 for a little bit. Let's just beat the crap out of it and let the next sucker deal with it.
But how nice would it be? I mean, obviously it's for hire. I mean, you got to be. This is the affluent market for sure, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, but you look at the single. Excuse me. You look at the single vehicle option here. $911, $3,200 a month is the most expensive one on there. But if you go down to the multi-vehicle option, $3,600 a month. So like, why would I do that if I was going to get the 911? Well, I can get the Taycan too. So that wasn't on the single vehicle, right? This bottom one here. So that's nice. But the other thing is, let's say for whatever reason, I want the 911 for the weekend. Mm-hmm. And then during the week, I got to haul the kids around. I can just have them deliver me because it says they will deliver up to 20 miles if you're located near a Porsche dealership. They'll just bring it out.
Doesn't seem right. There's got to be something to this. So I don't like most people. Like, I mean, if like you got a new truck, like if somebody's got a brand new Chevy Silverado, I'm not sure what the payments are, but I'm guessing it's got to be close to $800, $900 a month just to have your Silverado, brand new Silverado payment or whatever it is in that, ballpark. Why don't you and your wife just split a freaking one of these
Porsche subscription?
Yeah,
that's a good question too. Like, do they have multiple drivers on this, or does it only have to be tied to one person?
Yeah, there's something fishy about it. Because like, even if I go on vacation to rent from Hertz to get a crappy little Econo box, costs me at least $120 a day. And this is $60 a day for a Porsche. Why don't I go on vacation and then just get a Porsche for the month and just do that? It's cheaper.
It's true. It's true. I mean, obviously, being an affluent kind of thing, there's only a certain amount of locations that they have in the U.S. right now. There's a couple in California, Arizona, New York, Tennessee. But I just think that the option is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. But I feel like there's more to it. There's no way it's this simple. Like, there's no way you get. All right, we're gonna go to Rochester and pay some hobo $1,800, and we're gonna see if you can get a Porsche Drive subscription.
Well, here's my real question. You know how people share Netflix accounts?
Yeah. Oh, can you sure?
like, are you, if we had the subscription, are you going to call me and be like, yo, Brad,
Hey,
like,
man.
did you change the password for the Porsche subscription? Cause I'm trying to get that,
I got a
that
deal on
911.
that, buddy.
And now a quick word from our sponsor. If you're anything like me, it's difficult to constantly plan ahead for all your meals. I can get really busy and tied up during the day. I don't even feel like I have time to eat lunch sometimes, let alone something healthy. So I find myself always running out, grabbing fast food, snacking on sweets, just to kind of keep my day going. And I know it's not healthy, but sometimes it's really all I can manage to do. But that's why I'm super excited to be partnering with Factor. Factor's meals are not only healthy, but they're super convenient. I don't really even have to prepare anything, and it's ready to eat in just a couple minutes. It's perfect for gamers who just want to grab something quick and get right back to the action, too. Factor's chef-created meals are fresh, it's never frozen, it's designed by dietitians to ensure that every meal is packed with premium, science-backed nutritional quality, so that means no more meal prep, no more dishes, and thankfully no more unhealthy fast food trips. Factor offers the most convenient way to eat well while eating right. And I get to choose my meals every week, which is a bonus. Factor's menus are updated weekly and include 27 plus meals, 34 plus add-on options. So I get to choose my favorite meals, or I can let them craft my order based on my taste preferences and my meal history. They offer seafood, veggie, meat, along with keto, calorie smart, chef's favorites, vegan, and vegetarian. It's totally flexible for any lifestyle. So use the link in the description below and get $120 off your first 5 boxes. Check out Factor. Now back to CybrCast. This thing is a mess. Elon wanted to buy Twitter. He made this big stink about buying Twitter. They said, no, it's not for sale. It's not enough money. The offer wasn't good enough. And now he's done a complete 180. But I think for good reason. But for those that may not know what's going on or don't know why he's kind of turned around, is he was trying to get information, it sounds like, from Twitter as far as what their user base was made up of. So like how many spam and bot accounts there were on Twitter versus how many actual people are on Twitter. And so now he's officially, I guess he's officially made a statement that he wants to back out of the deal. And Twitter automatically said that they're basically taking him to court. And this is basically saying that he wants to wait until at least February 2023 because Twitter basically wants to take this to court as soon as possible. It says Twitter has pushed for the trial to take place in mid-September, justifying that the request to expedite things, given that Musk and Twitter's merger agreement has an October 24th presumptive drop dead date. Basically meaning that I guess that deal is no longer valid if they go past. Yeah.
I mean, it makes a good point. I mean, you're trying to buy something and it gets misrepresented. We're like, hey, I'm buying this, it's a lot of advertising. It's a lot of this. And you're telling me that most people are bots, where it's a majority of bots, where it's not even real people, where, that's kind of like a, misrepresentation of what he was buying.
But don't you think, and I don't know, I guess it's such in the spotlight because he's very much a public figure and he makes these claims freely on Twitter, which is kind of hilarious, especially when it comes to buying Twitter. But if you wanted to do your due diligence and actually make an offer on the company, despite what the outside people value the company at, wouldn't you first try to get that information from them? Or do you think he did the right thing by trying to say, no, I'll buy it for this just to get their attention and to turn basically public opinion? Because that's what he did, right?
Yeah.
He turned public opinion around so everybody said, yes, let him buy Twitter kind of thing.
Yeah. I think that he is definitely in the right, where if I'm going to buy something and you say, hey, here's everything, and he goes, oh man, I really want that, give me all, here's the money, I can pay for that. They should have accepted the deal a lot quicker if they knew something like this was going to happen. I don't know how that works. There's probably all sorts of legal crap and whatnot. But I remember there was a time there that they were like, they didn't want to sell them. They're like, nope, can't buy it. We're not going to sell it to you. Right. And then they changed their mind. And then it's like, all right, so it's my turn to now think a little bit more about this, where, I mean, how can you get mad at the guy where it seems like it's a horrible misrepresentation? It's not like it was a misrepresentation where you can just see it at like face value and like you can just easily see that, where like how many people are, how many bots are on Twitter, where I don't use Twitter that often, but I use Instagram a lot.
Right.
And there's websites that are dedicated to like finding bots and inactive people on your Instagram, where you can like put in a user handle and whatnot, and it'll tell you like how many people are fake on their account, and like people can use that to their advantage. Where I was at a wedding, one time, and I was watching the photographer, and I was like, man, I am not really that, I am judgmental for sure about this kind of stuff, where I, kind of do it myself, and I'm like always just, critiquing a little bit. And I'm just like, man, I've seen good wedding photographers. This is not good wedding photography. We're like,
Right.
she's missing shots. She's not, she's not being very, vocal about things. She's like kind of like, not, not being directive and like trying to help people out with stuff. And I was like, man, this is a huge expensive wedding. Like, what is going on? Like, they had like great food, great venue, great everything was amazing. Like, this was an awesome wedding. But then the photographer fell short. And I'm like, how is this possible? I went and talked around a little bit, and I got, I heard somebody mention the name of the photographer. So later that night when I got home, I went and looked at the Instagram page of this photographer. I was like, holy cow. I mean, for like a wedding photographer, it was impressive, where she had like 12,000 followers, like 11.9 thousand followers. I'm like,
That's a lot.
holy crap. I'm like, wow, that is a lot. Like, this girl, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I made this is my mistake. Maybe I'm looking at her photos. I'm still not that impressed. And I'm like, man, I might've made a mistake here, where, she must be doing pretty good if 12,000 people really like her. I went into that bot page and typed in the user handle. Not making this up. How many real followers she had? It said 0. She had no real followers. 0. I'm not even making that up. 0. And I wanted to look in the, I used my account. I used a couple friends' accounts and did theirs. And it was like my one photography page. It had like 30% fake followers. And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. I never would have guessed that. Where, I mean, it's got a decent amount of followers and stuff like that. But come to find out, this website's like tried and true. Where like this thing isn't just bull crapping you or whatever. But
so let me just step back for a second, because you said you went on your page and roughly 30% of yours were spam accounts.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know which ones are, which ones aren't.
So a whole 3 people. That's got to be like a punch to your gut, isn't it?
All 3 of those.
All 3 of them are bots. That's sad. Very sorry to hear that.
It really did hurt my feelings, but at least they do interact a little bit and make me feel.
And the 2 out of the 3, funny enough, were you thought were your parents' accounts too. That's the worst part.
Wait, okay. They're not. Hold on, let me check that.
I think Elon has got. I agree with you. I think he should make them clarify, for the evaluation's sake of what he's buying. I mean, you want to put up $44 billion for Twitter, you got to make sure that you're getting what you're paying for. But the problem is, he's already said it, right? And it wasn't like a gentleman's agreement where you just say it out loud. This is documented. I mean, and he was not shy about, putting the offer out there and then plugging it on Twitter all over the place all the time. So, I mean, it's a tough spot to be in, I got to think.
I mean, I feel like just Twitter is just fully in the wrong there, where they can't, say they have, they probably said to him, hey, we want, we got $44 billion, but, we have this many people, we'll take $50 billion. We have such a big user base. And then come to find out they don't have those users. If they said something along, I mean, that's total misrepresentation, where, they're always talking about how many people they got on their platform and stuff like that. And it's like,
right.
If you don't really have that many people on your platform, that is like, you can't say that. I mean, you can't say that, I'm trying to think of an analogy here of like owning a different company and saying, hey, we have 20,000, let's say you're a car sales, you're a car lot and you have 20,000 cars. Hey man, I got 20,000 cars for sale. No shit, you got 20,000 cars for sale? I'll give you this amount of money. I go to your car lot and you only got 40 cars. I'm changing my deal.
Well, and it says, Twitter has not given him the data to make an independent assessment of the prevalence of fake or spam accounts on Twitter's platform. So my question would be, is there a reason why they don't, right? So let's, for argument's sake,
covering it up. I mean, it seems like obvious.
But for argument's sake, let's say that they didn't have any fake accounts, or it wasn't absurd. I would be handing over that information immediately because not
What do you got
only
what do you got to hide? You know?
well, plus they're a public company, so anybody that owns Twitter stock, the board owes. They have to always do what's in the best interest of the stakeholders, right?
Yeah.
So they are obligated to hand that information over. However, if they know that there are an absorbent amount of spam and false accounts on there, then they kind of wanted to see if that valuation would stay, because obviously if they handed it over and Elon says, well, it's not worth 44 billion, I would pay you 20 billion. And not only that, if this falls through, who else would touch them after that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, their stock would plummet. Everything, it would just kill. Well, that's what part of me thinks this whole Twitter deal is about. I think Twitter pissed off Elon at some point, where they either blocked something or they deleted something or they deleted someone or something happened. Right. And it was like his job for him to be to like expose them for this right now. Where like maybe he didn't even ever want to buy it. All he wanted to do is expose how many fake people are on that platform to make, to kill them, to disrupt their everything, because, I mean, Twitter has a ton of power, and the reason it has power is because of how many people follow it.
That might be a good transition for our last topic. Did you want to talk about gaming stuff?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's like one of the things. I mean, we do a lot of gaming. So, I mean, it's always, when we're playing a game, and it's kind of I feel like when I'm playing video games lately, there aren't like enough good video games. I remember when I was little, maybe it's just because I'm older and I'm like more of a crotchety person or something like that. But I feel like there's just like, not as many good games. Like, I feel like I get so bored of things, and like, I get a game that I really, really like, and then it ends up just being, meh, not that good. Everyone says it's great. Meh, it's not that good. I mean, you get like a Grand Theft Auto where it's like, that's fun. They care about that game a lot. They're always doing DLCs. They do all that kind of stuff. But then you get like a game like Call of Duty. Great. It's fun. It's addictive. It's got good graphics. It's, it's got a lot of stuff going for it. But then they don't take care of the game. Like there's no, like, they're not doing anything for the game. And it's frustrating. We're like, what games can you play right now? I saw Austin last night, and we were kind of like talking about like what we should play and what we should do. And it's like, Counter-Strike is a great game. The graphics kind of suck. It's kind of hard to play. There's a lot of gripes with that. And then
the game is how old though? Counter-Strike.
I mean, the actual game of Counter-Strike, CS:GO, I think, is 10 years old, 11 years old.
10 years old. Yep.
And,
2012 it says.
But I mean, they've had updates and stuff like that. So I mean, their engine hasn't really been updated and stuff like that. But that's the kind of game where I bet if you looked at the last update for Counter-Strike, it's been the last 3 days. They have an update like every week for that game. Any little thing goes on, they try to fix that game and they take care of it. Call of Duty, you can have 80,000 cheaters on at any given time, and they don't give a crap. At its core, it's still the same game, but they changed a couple little things that, when Go first dropped, there was all sorts of issues with movements and like movement speeds and like peak. Like that's one of the fun things about the game. It's not super realistic. Like Tarkov's too realistic, too freaking realistic for me that I can't
get into it. I really can't.
I can't even get into watching it. Like if I'm watching, like if I have it in the, like when I'm like cleaning the house or I'm doing some dishes or laundry or doing something, I just put stuff on in the background, like boring, like monotonous things. That's so boring and monotonous. I have to turn it off when I'm trying to find something really boring and monotonous just to like have in the background, like background music.
I think a good player I could watch, a friend of mine, shout out to One Peg, is a Twitch streamer, streams Tarkov. It's like 99% of his streams, he streams Tarkov. Yeah. He makes content about Tarkov, like the nitty gritty, the updates, how it changed the drop rate of certain guns and stuff like this. I get it. I absolutely get it.
Yeah.
For my play style though, it slows it down so much that it becomes less of. I guess what you're looking for is like you're looking for a good balance of a first person shooter, if that's the games that you like to play, and a multiplayer shooter, obviously. But add little things in. But when it becomes, I don't know, half the game, more than half the game, to be able to know what you're looking for, all the side quests, putting things in your backpack and stuff like that. it slows everything down
If
for
I
me.
wanted to like do all that kind of stuff, I would just open up like a Excel spreadsheet and just have a whole bunch of stuff in an inventory, do that kind of stuff. I'm looking to like test my
Right.
reaction speed against another guy. I'm looking to change, I want to be able to throw a flashbang and use my tactics to try to be able to be better than that guy. That's all that I'm playing a first person shooter for, is trying to beat
Exactly.
that other team. I'm trying to win and beat that other team. I'm not trying to go through and try to finesse every little stinking thing of like, you have to load the right rounds into your gun in Tarkov. You can't, you can't even,
Mm-hmm.
you have to pick up the right, and you have to load. I mean, it makes sense, of course. Like, that's how it goes in real life. But, I mean, you get random jams. I think that game, your guns jam and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like
they do.
that would make me want, I would punch I'm not that kind of person. I would punch my monitor if I'm in a gun battle and my dumbass virtual gun jams. Like, I would throw things.
I can't deal with it. I can't deal with putting like single bullets or putting
Yes.
bullets in the magazine.
Yeah, that's way above and beyond. If I wanted to go do something like that, I guess I'll get an Excel spreadsheet and I'll just type in numbers all day. Just have the most monotonous, boring thing in the world. Like, sure, if you like doing that, whatever. But to me, is like, I want to play a game and I want to be able to come back to like the same level and everybody be on the same level of like, we're all on like we start at the same level during that match. Like, that's what I don't like
Right.
about Call of Duty is I'm a level 34 right now with the new release of the new season or whatever. I was playing against guys that are freaking like level 180, and it's like they have every gun unlocked. They've played so much more. And like the other day, one of the ones that really irritated me, I'm shooting a guy, doing whatever. We're in a gunfight. I broke him. He broke me. I go to like lay underneath something to put my plates back in. I didn't realize he could see like my complete feet and everything like that. It's like I can't. Like it's too big of a map. It's too much to know. Like Counter-Strike, it's like when you turn that corner, that guy's gonna be in one of like 6 areas. Just choose one of the 6 and then hope he's there.
Well, we'll end it here because it's been a little bit, and we got some good talking points out of there.
For sure.
But so let me ask you first, like what did you think? You think we can keep?
I mean, I really feel like my parents always said that where like I can pretty much talk about anything. I feel like
I thought for sure you were gonna say my parents told me I could do anything when I grow up. So
no. I mean, that's always been like a thing is like I can definitely hold like a decent conversation and have an opinion about something.
Well, next time we'll have to get your cam all ready to go so we can have you on there. And you know what?
This freaking room up.
If we get this going, I'd like to have a couple different guests on to talk about different things.
For sure.
We might have to. You know what? The goal is to build something here. We can do stuff remotely. We could do stuff in person. Have like a nice little set going on. But the last thing I'll say is like, guys watching this thing, like, let us know what you want to see. Let us know any topics you guys want to, kind of have us talk about and whatnot. I know one of the other things we kind of talked about, we weren't really sure about, was whether or not we were going to do this live too, and then record it and then edit for YouTube and stuff like that. So I would be interested on our end of things to see what you guys want to see. Would you rather it be a live show where you guys can interact with us live, right, in chat? Because that might be cool. That
One
might
of the things I think about is like it would be a kind of cool way of doing it is like podcast for like the first hour before we play a game, like podcast and be a part of chat and Twitch and stuff like that. And then, not every single time, but it is cool to be able to have like interactions where if you have a talking point or, you can come and go as you please with comments, stuff like that. But if you see a cool comment, it's like, oh, geez, yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense. I like doing that. I did like interacting with the chat. That was pretty fun the other night.
Oh, that was the best. That was the best. The other night on stream was amazing. And if you haven't seen stream and you guys are watching this on YouTube right now, check down in the comment section below, or not the comment section below. What the hell is the in the description below on YouTube? Yeah,
but
check out.
I brought it up the other night where I was like, dude, that I was, if I had my stream on at one point, I was crying laughing. I legitimately was like, my eyes were teared up thinking about you getting blown up with a freaking airbag for $10,000. Like I still am laughing. Like if I'm just driving and randomly think about that, I just start bursting out laughing. Like it was fun. There was so many fun moments and like,
oh my God, it's great.
Chat, like there was so many times that the chat brought stuff up and it was like, oh man, that's a good idea. That's what's kind of cool about it. You don't have to read every comment for the most part if you're podcasting like that, but you can
Right.
look them up and whatnot. And, a lot of times they are, they do help out with the conversation.
No, it was awesome. We had great interaction the other night.
It was awesome.
We might do something live again. And you know what? Even if we don't do this live every time, every now and then it would be kind of cool just to do a live version and do that.
Totally,
So
yeah, it's really cool with that.
But I think that's it. I think we'll sign off for this podcast. But we appreciate you stopping by and watching or listening to this, depending on where you're seeing us or hearing us from. Yeah. Anything before we sign off, Bean?
Oh, no, I'm good. I can't wait to do it again.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Catch you next time. See ya.